Hello YouTube and welcome back, and basically this is going to be a commentary of never quit on your team regardless of what is happening in the game. Because not only do I not start off very well in this game, I believe this was one of my first games of the day, maybe 2 or 3 games in, but there's some other things going on, and you'll see that coming up in the match here in a second. I don't start off too terrible, but I just can't seem to get anything going. You know, I can't really help the team out that much. We're playing multi-team right now, but I was just struggling to get anything to happen, and that's not a good way to start off a game. And if I have teammates like that have that happening to them, they're gonna dashboard and just save their combat record and do what's good for them and not what's good for the team, because you never know how things might turn out in the end. You might turn things around, get some good things going, get some awesome score streaks, and come back for a huge win, even if you're down by a lot. I mean, you just never know what's gonna happen. So I believe it's coming up in the next 30 seconds or so, and just another thing that really wanted to make me leave, and I don't quit. I never dashboard unless things are just disgustingly bad with lag. And I finally start to make my move here and get a cap for my team, and that's going to help the team. And back here, you definitely want to watch behind you and to the right where I'm about to look now, because if your team's not back there holding that anchor point, they're going to start spawning behind you, and you're going to get taken out of that hard point. I believe I'm about, shotgun. That's a whole nother thing, though. And when you do end up having teammates leave, you get other people that get joined in. They don't know what's going on in the game. They're not up to speed with where the other team's, favorite spot is to camp, because you always run into those people. But this right here was really blowing my mind. I could barely move my guy. I couldn't reload, and I was just spraying right on this guy, and I could barely get any hit markers. And the lag continued for the next 15-20 seconds. And believe me, I really, really wanted to leave. But I just hate to ditch my team, and it was actually, 2 other people that I generally play with a lot. And I didn't want to leave them and have them end up with one of those teammates that aren't up to speed with what's going on, even though I wasn't doing a whole lot, getting a whole lot accomplished. I felt I needed to stay just to be there for my team. And right after that huge lag spike we all just got to see is when things really started to change. Bullets were actually connecting when they should connect, and people died in the proper amount of bullets instead of, 20, 30 shots, and then they finally decided to die. And I go on a pretty good kill streak here, and things just really start to flow, and that's when I was super glad that I didn't end up leaving my team, and we actually ended up winning by a decent amount here. I was just dropping score streak after score streak. I believe I actually ended up earning about 3 stealth choppers without dying, so I was pretty happy that I stayed. Had that little 4-piece just then, with 3 with the Hellstorm and 1 with the stealth chopper. And then things just continue to flow, and you can see I'm getting in a better groove here. I'm not being sloppy, I'm being careful. Just really holding my own and always paying attention to my HUD there. And that could have been a huge mistake there, pulling off that score streak when I'm the only one holding down the hard point, but it worked out alright. Things just started to flow, and it worked out in my favor big time for sure. And you can see as I start moving over to this next hard point, I'm checking every which way, because in multi-team the spawns can get a little crazy and you never really know where it's coming from. My team's already got this hard point locked down, and they're in the front of the garage there. And I'm doing something that I really, really hate to do, is to be in the back of the garage with that particular car not exploded, because even though I run flak jacket, that's going to kill me if they blow that up. But somebody has to stay back there and make sure that my team doesn't get shot in the back. So luckily that didn't explode on me. And now, as you can see here, I am the only one left in the hard point here, but I'm perfectly okay with that, because there's only a few seconds left, and I want my team to start heading to the next hard point, holding that down. Second stealth chopper without dying, by the way, if you didn't catch that. But I'm perfectly fine being in here by myself for the last few seconds, because even if I do lose it, we're not going to lose that many points, and my team can already start locking down the next hard point, get Betties out, do whatever they need to do to be prepared to hold that by themselves. And now my team already has the next hard point locked down pretty well, so I'm just going to kind of try and stay a little past mid and keep these spawns unlocked to make their job that much easier, because if I can stop them from getting there, then it's that much less of an issue for them to have it to deal with. Now, there is a pretty big downfall to this playstyle, though, if you don't have a very strong team, good communication, or you're just playing with some randoms that you don't usually play with, is I'm acting as an anchor point to this side, and you saw that my team spawned on this end, even though this hard point's mid, and then the next one's even further from where I am. So that can cause some issues if you have bad communication. So I wouldn't try and do this unless it's people that you're usually playing with, you have good communication, and, you know, everybody knows what needs to be done and when to do it. And then you can see here that these guys are just rushing the hard point, and I'm just basically standing behind them as they come out of that garage. And I can keep that on lock. And now that I know that most of these guys are probably going to be spawning with me, I'm a little worried about dropping these score streaks, so I'm trying to kind of stay hidden, lay in the weeds, and hopefully if somebody does spawn there, they'll just walk right past me as I drop these down, because I'm on a pretty big kill streak, and I don't want to lose that. And as I said, I'm very familiar with my team. I know what's happening. I know what they're going to do. And they're in the low-end hard point right now. There's about halftime left, and I know they're going to rush it, and they're going to be able to take control of that. So I want to act as the anchor now to this end, because the next hard point's going to be right next to where I am. And if I can keep this on lockdown, you know, build up some score streaks to make sure that they stay out of it when it does switch, we'll be in pretty good shape to hold this next one with no issues. Third stealth chopper, haven't died yet. Just pointing that out there. And then now I made a mistake of putting chase on this guy, and knowing that they're going to be spawning this in because my team was holding that far end hard point, and I got shot in the back, and I went off that score streak. But I went on a pretty huge score streak. I was proud of that one. And I would have never had any of that happen if I would have left my team and ditched them and, you know, let them get stuck with a random and possibly end up losing this match, because I had some pretty clutch moves, some big score streaks, some game savers going on, and you know, they could have ended up with a bad guy just handing, you know, stealth choppers and lodestars to the other team by doing terrible. I mean, you just never know what's going to happen. So stick with your team and just don't ditch them. And now I did start to kind of get a little sloppy after getting knocked off my run there, but we definitely still held it together and didn't have any issues pulling this one out. You can see here, I mean, I should have had that guy. And then I run in here, and you'll see. Alright, well, that's a bad guy. Maybe I'll look in the sky like an idiot, but we still held it together. And that's just to prove, you know, stick with it, and you can pull out huge wins. I mean, you just never know what'll happen. And honestly, who doesn't like being a comeback hero and getting some huge clutch plays like that for your team and being able to pull something out like that? So I hope everybody takes something from this video and just realizes, you know, never quit on your team even when things aren't going your way, and you can have a good game like this. I'd like to thank everybody for watching, and until next time, game on.